Okay, today's the day we're going to put our bees into their hive. We got our bees here. This is a box of bees, 3 pounds of bees, probably 10,000 bees. And I'm going to get them out in a minute. But before that, we're going to prep the hive box here. So these are the frames. The wood's called the frame, and then the centerpiece is the foundation. That's a piece of plastic. And the bees are going to build their honeycomb out on that. So for the first thing we're going to do is we're going to spray these with a mixture of sugar water just to make them really attractive to the bees.
Goes right, our bees will start living in our hive.
Do you want to do some of this, Caitlin?
Sure.
Okay.
Just a second.
Okay, we've got the bottom box in place. We've got the sugar water on the foundation on the frames there, so we're ready to get the bees out. So this can here, this is a can that was in the box and traveled with the bees from California, and that had sugar water in it to keep the bees happy and hydrated on their trip. And you can see there's this little metal tab here. That metal tab is attached to a little wooden box inside that has the queen, and the queen is what all the bees are attracted to. So what I need to do next is pull out that can kind of quickly and then pull out the queen box and then put the can back. I want to get the queen box out of there without all the bees coming out. So I'm going to give the camera to Caitlin here.
Okay. Thanks, Dad.
Step back a little bit.
I can, here.
Maybe come on Dad's other side.
Caitlin, So here we are, we're gonna...
Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the bees give them a spray of sugar water. This kind of distracts them and gets them
To want to be in the can.
thinking about the sugar water and eating as opposed to what I'm doing.
Or makes them drowsy, doesn't it?
Kind of makes them drowsy, kind of a little lethargic. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to tap the box so that some of the bees fall to the bottom. Now it should be easier to get this can out.
You don't want to crack that. You want just to...
There we go. Okay.
Do you need something to put over that?
All right, so I got the can out. Now I'm going to get the queen out. Put the can back.
Not too many bees escaped.
Okay, so here's the queen in her box. It's hard to see her, but there's one bee outside. She's in there. She's probably twice the size of the regular bee. And there's a little cork on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that cork out, make sure she doesn't come out, and I'm going to replace the cork with a piece of marshmallow. And then I'm going to put this box with the queen in the hive, and then I'm going to put the bees in the hive, and they're going to eat through that marshmallow and get her out. That's going to take them a while, and by the time they do that, they're going to think of the hive as their new home.
So where will she go into the house?
So what I'm going to do is we've got the bottom box here, we've got the frames and foundation that have sugar water on them. I've got the queen box out here. I replaced the cork with a little piece of marshmallow here. What I'm going to do now is put the queen in her little box in here.
In the box,
Whoops, went through. Get her out there.
That way it has a little metal tab. So are they going to have to hook her from the bottom?
I'm going to leave that one frame out so there's a little more room.
You see as she's a little
So the marshmallow's on the
side.
bottom of the box here. And the queen's still in there. Okay, so the queen's all ready. So the next step is to get the bees out, which means literally pouring them onto this box here.
They act like a liquid, don't they?
With the queen now, they can get in the hive through this little gap right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake the bees onto the hive here. Then I'm going to put the top cover on. Not all the bees are going to come out of the box, so I'm going to leave the box here. and they're just going to find their way by smell into the hive over the next day. And then tomorrow I'm going to check to make sure that the queen got out of her cage already. So I'm going to give them another spray just to calm them down a bit, slow them down a bit. And I'm going to give them another shake so that they're all in a ball at the bottom. And then the fun part of pouring the bees. Okay, here goes.
Up, it's the bees. It's like a goop coming out.
10,000 bees are a lot of bees. Okay, that's about all that's going to come out.
I'm glad you have a bee
I'm just
suit
gonna
on.
leave this here
Glad you have a bee suit on, John.
so they can get out. That pile's a little too high for me to put the top on right now. So what I'm going to do,
Why don't we just let it sit? Or
I'm going to put another box on, an empty box. And then I'll put the top on that.
cool. So that's all?
And that should be it. So we'll come back in a couple hours. Hopefully most of these bees will be out of here. And we'll take the sugar water away. And we're all done for now.
Cool.
Okay, I put the bees in yesterday, so I'm just going to check on them today. Here's the box. They all got out of the box pretty much. There are hardly any dead ones in there. Usually on a trip from California you get some dead ones at the bottom of the box, but this seemed like a really good batch, so I'm excited about that. And you can see here they're just going nuts, so I think they're figuring out how to make this their new home. So what I want to do is check to make sure they got the queen out of her little box, and if they did, then take that box out. I'm also going to give them some sugar water just to get them going here. So let's see, we'll open this up here. Okay, look inside. So you can see the bee box is down there in the middle. You're going to pull that out. Shake it off here. Bees aren't too happy about that. But yeah, the queen's out. You can see the cork's gone. So we don't need that in there anymore, so I'm going to put that down. So that's good. The queen's inside somewhere. Now I took one frame out to make room for that, so I want to put all the frames back. So I'm going to kind of scooch the frames here without trying to bother the bees too much. I'm going to get my little tool here. Just got to be patient and slow moving around the bees. They're not too happy about me being in here, but what can you do? Alright, you can see down there they're making these big long strings of beads, kind of bridging the gap between the thing. So I'm going to put the last frame in there. Okay. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to break up your party here. Actually, I need to take the top box off. Okay. Drop this frame in. Even it out. So there's enough, same distance between them all, pretty much. Okay, so that's good. Now I want to give them some water. Boy, they're just going nuts right now. I want to give them some sugar water to get going because they don't really know where to get water and food right now. They're in a new place and it's going to take them a while to figure that out. So we want to supplement them for the first month or so. So this is the inner cover. I'm going to put that on top there. Then I've got a gallon jar here of sugar water with a perforated top. I'm going to take that, put that on top here. So that's like a little drip irrigation system for them. So they can just come up from the bottom, through the inner cover and drink from that. And that's going to give them a real boost during these first couple weeks when they're trying to figure out what's what around here in Colorado. I'm going to put this box around it so I can get the inner cover on again. Got the inner cover back on. So we're all good to go. I'm probably not going to open that up for a while now unless I see something that worries me. They should be good to go. I'm going to check on the sugar water every couple days because they go through it pretty quickly. But otherwise they're all set. They've just got to start building out their beeswax on those foundations. The queen's probably already started laying. Crazy thing is that these 10,000 bees are all going to be dead in a month and a half because regular bees only live 45 days. So the queen's got to make new bees really quick, and they've got to raise them and bring them out and get them going. But all 10,000 of these bees are going to be done, and the next generation will be here in 6 weeks. The queen, she lives several years. She's the only one who gets to live more than 45 days. So these bees have a busy month ahead of them getting everything ready for the next generation. So that's about it. Looks like it was a good installation, and nothing worrisome. The queen was out, and they look happy.